RIP to the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. A lot of people out of the pro wrestling world reacting to the news that he has passed away. Taz here. I forgot that Kevin Sullivan was in ECW. Comment if you guys remember that, man. And you see, obviously, everyone knows who his wife was. Went on to be the wife of Chris Benoit, which in WCW we saw the storylines mimic real life where Benoit ended up with her. You know what I'm saying? Still hard to accept that Benoit did that. So many people wanted to believe that something else happened. And I don't know if you guys recall, like right here, Taz says, man, I feel horrible just hearing about the passing of the great Kevin Sullivan, the real devil of pro wrestling. So with the gimmicks that they would have, right? You know, with the being the Taskmaster and occult symbolism and stuff like that. And people tried to actually spin a whole narrative and theory that there was something with the Benoit tragedy that had to do with that, which obviously is not true. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was crazy. Life on the road, you know, marriages is hard to stand up to that. But he says, I cannot begin to tell you how much this man helped me in my career. I knew him way before ECW, where we were tag team champs, but I worked with Kevin Sullivan in Japan, Bahamas, throughout the Northeast Indies before ECW. I've called him countless times years ago for advice. One of the greatest minds in the history of the industry. He always helped me. RIP Devil. And again, I forgot he was in ECW, man. So many people had a run in ECW. It was a shame that it couldn't stand up to WWE and WCW back during the pro wrestling wars or whatever, you know, when wrestling was just hitting on another level and everyone was watching it. People that weren't even pro wrestling fans were getting into it. It was crazy, but financially they just couldn't stand up to the giants. WCW, remember they said there was like a mole giving back info on contracts and stuff like that. They believed like that's how serious it was. WWE actually had a working relationship with him. Here's another ECW alumni, you know, Bully Ray. Always loved when his thick Boston accent and my rough New York accent would collide. Learn from him. RIP to the devil himself, Kevin Sullivan. It's crazy, man. I wonder how old Sullivan was. Last I knew, he was still working with WWE at one point in time. Here's Jake the Snake. I'm deeply saddened to learn of the passing of my friend Kevin Sullivan. What an incredible mind for the business and even greater person. Please say a prayer for his family. Man, check out an old pic of Jake the Snake and Kevin Sullivan. What's it say? And his friend ally Jake the Snake Roberts. I wonder what promotion that was from. It's wild too, man. Jake the Snake, with all his issues and everything, which he has under control today. A lot of people wouldn't think Jake would have outlived a lot of people that he has, man, in AEW and WWE, both, you know, giving their condolences as well. But comment, you know, everyone, were you a fan of the Taskmaster? Remember in WCW, man, a lot of people kind of shitted on the whole Dungeon of Doom storyline and everything like that. It was kind of crazy too after NWO took over and all the success they were having, still seeing the Dungeon of Doom still around and everything like that. I don't know. It was weird because it was like transitioning from a different time, like how we were talking about how ECW was killing it back then, how they brought the kind of hardcore, little bit of more of a reality aspect to pro wrestling and stuff like that. We definitely saw WWE and WCW implement that into what they were doing a bit, and, you know, shifting away. Like prime example, we're talking about the Dungeon of Doom and all that. Hogan was warring with the Dungeon of Doom for a while. Hell, they even had that where it was the Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen linked up to have like the alliance to end Hulkamania. And we saw Zeus, Debo from the Friday films, Tiny Lister, RIP to him as well. And that one guy that played Bane in a Batman movie from way back with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mr. Freeze and all that. And the dude that was all jacked up on the roids, hard body. Him and him and Debo came out and everything, and it was like Hogan's a part of that. Then he joins the NWO, and it just totally shifted from that storyline into the direction that pro wrestling was going. And then the dungeon was still there. It was just kind of crazy, man. But R.I.P. Kevin Sullivan. Comment your thoughts. If you've been a pro wrestling fan for a long time, memories from his career, different stuff like that. I know he worked creatively or as a booker or something like that for a while as well. But man, 49 to 04, man. So he was up there. What's that, like 75 years old? It's a long life.